Hi, I'm Katarina, and this is my presentation on identity and labels. The danger of a single story. In Aditye's TED Talk, she explains that a single story creates stereotypes, and the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. They make one story become the only story. The dangers of a single story are that it reduces people to just one version of who they are. When we only know one narrative about a group, culture, or a person, we stop seeing their humanity. This connects to what we are learning about in intercultural communication, that identity is complex, dynamic, and influenced by context. People express different parts of themselves in different situations, so it's important not to just assume we understand someone based on limited information. Even I have been reduced to a single story. Recently, I co hosted a party for Halloween. I started talking to someone who I played D&D with, which is Dungeons and Dragons, and I also used to be their boss at a previous job. He told me he thought that I wasn't a good person because of the gossip he heard at our old job. And after actually getting to know each other and communicating, he realized that I was completely different from what he'd expected and apologized. I think this just happens to me a lot because I'm naturally quiet and observant. When I meet new people, I like to watch and get to know them before opening up, but people sometimes mistake that for being unfriendly or uninterested. It's frustrating because they form an opinion before they really know me. And when someone doesn't recognize my identity, that's most important to me, which is being kind, thoughtful, and observant, it feels really discouraging. I take time to understand people, and when it's mistaken for being cold or rude, I feel so unseen. This relates to perception, attribution, and intercultural communication, which involves how people interpret others' actions through their own cultural or personal filters. In my case, people may expect more outgoing behavior to signal friendliness, but my communication style just looks different. This experience helps remind me to give others the same grace by looking beyond first impressions and understanding that behavior can have different meanings depending on the context. There are so many ways that we express our identities through our speech, behavior, attire, and even our use of social media. For me, one major way I express my identity is through my communication style. I'm quiet and observant, which reflects my value for listening and understanding people before speaking. In Chapter 5, it discusses how identity expression is both personal and contextual, meaning it can change depending on the situation. For example, I acted differently as a manager than I do with my friends and family, but both versions are authentic parts of me. This connects to impression management, the way we present ourselves to others, and also to identity management, since we are always balancing who we are with how others perceive us. Here are three concepts that I have listed. In my first one, I have impression management is how people present themselves and how others perceive them. At my old job, I had to act professionally and seriously as a manager. Later, people only remembered that side of me and assumed that was my whole personality. This shows how impression management can be misunderstood when others only see one version of us. And second concept, the avowed identity is one we claim for ourselves, while the ascribed identity is the one others assign to us. I consider myself a thoughtful and observant person who likes to understand others before opening up, but people ascribe to me the label of being cold or unfriendly. This difference between my self view and others' assumptions is a key part of how misunderstandings happen. And my third concept, identity negotiation theory, explains that individuals constantly manage and express their identities through interactions, balancing the need for belonging and individuality. At the party, when the coworker got to know me beyond gossip, we both renegotiated our understanding of each other. This moment showed how open communication can transform identity perceptions. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a lovely day.